Hi there friends, and welcome to episode 1,002,002 of Not Ready to Grow Up, part of the Versus Player family. We are your regular hosts. I'm Joe.
I'm Jono.
On each episode, us two best mates, being on either side of 40, are going to invite you in on one of the million conversations we have about the nerdy things we are passionate about. In this episode, we're going to go way back, Jono, to 1977. Kind of 1978, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a few years before I was born, actually.
And a year after I was born.
We're going to have a chat about the original 12 Star Wars figures released by Kenner. Jono, take us to school. Tell us how Kenner got the license to what has surely become the most profitable action figure toy line of all time.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? It's really interesting because back in the 70s, action figures for movies weren't a thing.
Yep.
Like today, where you can have an R-rated movie and it could spawn an action figure line for kids.
Or a cartoon series for kids as well and things like that.
That's it, yeah. Yep. It's just crazy. So when you look back, they were shopping around for someone to pick up, we've got this cool science fiction property, think it'd be great, and went to Mego, which were huge at the time in action figures. I mean, I think you've probably seen some of the figures back in the day. And they went, not interested. And so Kenner picked it up. And good for them, and good for George Lucas, because George Lucas had kept the options for the action figures.
For merchandising.
Merchandising, yeah,
Full
you're
stop.
right, yeah. It was all his, because they didn't think it would make that much.
What a decision.
It funded Empire Strikes Back's Return of the Jedi and has made him one of the richest men today.
Absolutely.
So, very smart. And Kenner, super smart. My favourite thing about this is that they didn't have the action figures ready to go in 77 when the movie was released. So for the Christmas period, which is huge, they put out the early bird special.
Yep.
And you've seen the early bird special before.
The nice backing with where you could put all the figures on there.
It was an empty cardboard box.
Yep.
They sold an empty cardboard box at Christmas that went gangbusters and ended up in massive sales, and the kids didn't get their toys until 78.
Yeah.
So just nuts.
And the toys themselves actually say 77 on the bottom of them.
Yeah.
So that's why we're kind of,
Well, they were clearly in production. They just didn't have enough to get a reasonable amount out to stores or even out to customers that had pre-ordered them. So,
in talking about before we actually look at the 12 figures, they didn't just release cool figures; they released nice packaging for it as well, which has kind of stood the test of time. I think
it's set the standard for any figure of that size. It's the packaging really hasn't changed in the intervening years, really.
And Star Wars figure packaging has come full
back
circle back to this, in the biggest way. And the nostalgia of this packaging, looking at it right now, I've seen things on the shelves, in 2020 that look exactly like this. It's timeless, and whoever designed that, props to you and pride to you for life, because you're still seeing your designs out there.
That's it. Yeah,
it's super cool. Well, Jono, let's have a look at the first 12. So we're going to go through these. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each. We're going to go through them in alphabetical order. And starting with, not Artoo Detoo as in R2D2, but AR2D2. So we got Artoo Detoo up on the screen. We've actually got Artoo Detoo in front of us right now as well.
We do.
So I'm a massive Artoo Detoo collector myself. I've got
I would have been disappointed if you didn't have an original.
Yeah, I've got an original R2, which takes pride and place in my collection.
Yep.
And then I've got an original with a repurposed sticker. So it looks like it might have looked, when it was first released. It's a beautiful mold, beautiful design.
Yeah.
I think that the actual decal on the figure is really movie accurate. There's so much detail there. And, nowadays all that's kind of etched into it. You got a sticker, but you got a dome that's, it's tactile. You can feel how it works. And if you shine a light through, it kind of comes out the kind of eye on the piece there. It's nice, and it moves around, and I'm twisting it, and you can hear the spring kind of inside it. And you turn it upside down, you can see a bolt right in it. It's a nice first figure. So after R2, we've got an Obi-Wan, and again, right in front of us.
Yeah, exactly.
We both have an Obi-Wan.
We both have an Obi-Wan, yeah.
Not looking as nice as what you're seeing on screen right now.
No, not at all. I mean, the vinyl cape, I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild with the vinyl cape either. It's almost a bit vampire-ish, isn't it, with the kind of cape there. And you look at the way that they designed the lightsaber, it's not exactly hidden when it's kind of up, but when it comes out, it you know, it doesn't look very menacing.
It really doesn't. And neither of us have a lightsaber on Obi-Wan. No. Although it's funny that the colours changed over time. So originally it was yellow and then it went to blue.
Okay.
So, because, I mean, if you look back at the original Star Wars as well, A New Hope, it was hard to tell initially actually what colour it was. It actually did look more yellow than it looked blue, which we later saw. And really, the lightsabers in the movie looked super thin, like you see on Obi-Wan here as well. Yeah, that little point on it I've always found was funny. I remember as a kid having a toothpick replacing his lightsaber. It did the job. Yeah, because it kind of did. It was sharp in the original kind of cinematic release of the film as well. So after Obi-Wan, going in alphabetical order, iconic, you got to have it. Chewie, like this was awesome with his bowcaster. Yeah. His bandolier kind of part of his the figure. The one big kind of head to torso piece. Yeah, so no turning head there. No. Although, you know what, I think a lot of the alien creatures got the better design than the straight up human characters in the original series. Yeah, I love how he's kind of like, he's growling already. Like, even when you play with it. Well, he looks happy. Yeah, it's very cool. And then moving on, we got Darth Vader. Good old Darth. And you know, what do you say? Like, his lightsaber, even though it looks like Obi-Wan's, I find that, you know, just the red is menacing. Yeah. Again, with the cape, with the cool kind of fold over the back. He's got his on his chest there, his kind of robotic his life support system. Yeah. Really cool, and obviously the iconic mask. And funnily enough, this Darth Vader, and I think Obi-Wan was pretty much the same. And actually, most of the figures we've talked about so far, and it'll change a little bit down the line, were just brought back again for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, because these characters so far didn't change. Yeah, well, what are you going to change about this design, really? It's awesome. It's super cool. Moving on, we have a Death Squad Trooper. Yeah, like this is... Do you know it got renamed? To what? To a Star Destroyer Commander, because Death Squad seemed a little bit too on the nose for a kid. Yeah, fair enough. And like... The helmet piece is pretty funny there. Yeah, oh, yeah. Looks like a bit of a bowl cut, a bit of Three Stooges style. Yeah. But, yeah, I guess I just needed some bad guy figures to kind of go along with your goodies. Yeah, not much I can say about that one. Nope. Moving on, we've got iconic Han Solo, looking very slick with the small head in the picture that we're showing, but there was two versions of Han, the big head and the small head. Don't know why they went to a big head. Apparently they changed it midway through production, and so there was small head ones released, and then they went to a bigger head. And that blaster is perfect. That looks so cool. That's like, out of all of the kind of accessories with it, I reckon that's probably my favorite. Yeah. And then next up we have a Jawa. Yeah. Now actually I've got a Jawa at home, but it wasn't from the original I've got one floating around somewhere too. But this Jawa you're seeing there, you can see it with his cloak on and with it off. You know, we didn't kind of get that, but that cloak there is very valuable nowadays. Like, there's even more so if you got the vinyl one that they initially did, which wasn't working. So finding one of those is really, really super hard, and apparently very expensive if you can get it. But it's a really nice figure, and it, you know, to scale with the others as well. Yeah. I always liked him without his cloak. Yeah. He matches Obi-Wan nicely. Yeah. And here we go. We've got yellow lightsaber, Luke Skywalker. Yep. What can you say about that hairstyle, Jono? It's classic. It's classic 70s. It's, you know, He-Man was inspired by it later on. Yep, very, very much so. But yeah, I got nothing else to say about that. Not a fan of that one. No. And then we got Princess Leia again with the nice cloak. Yeah. The buns are right there. You can't have Princess Leia without the buns. No. I think she was a really good figure. Yeah, much really better than the, what was it, Power of the Force that came years later, where she had the mould of, who was it? Oh. One of the other, I think it was the Luke Skywalker mould. Yeah, and the Luke Skywalker looked like He-Man. He did. Yeah. He was buff as. But this is a nice one. And then a Tusken Raider or Sand People, I think was what it was on the original box. It was. With what is it called? A gaffy stick or something? A gaffy stick, yeah. You're right. Yeah. That's a really nice mould. Like, I really like that figure. That looks really cool again with the cloak. But funnily enough, as a kid at that time, you probably wouldn't have played with it all that much. He wasn't as popular. Yeah, I did definitely have not ever owned one of those. And this here looks really slick. I think, personally, he was the best sculpted and moulded figure in that range. The only problem was, from a kid's point of view, he's probably the one you would have played with the least because he had the least action value,
Yeah,
and that's good old C-3PO.
C-3PO, like, you know, vital to the movies in what he does, but in a lot of ways, yeah, like you said, not the kid's favorite, but looks really cool. This is a
amazing.
robot toy, and
I'm afraid to say, and this might disappoint you a little, I think he looks better than the R2 the first round around.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's all kind of molded and shaped rather than a sticker on it. And like the picture there, I don't have a C-3PO anymore. I have a friend who has one.
Oh, yeah.
I went over
I've got
recently. One. Oh, you got one too?
Yeah.
Well, Ben, my mate, one of my friends, Ben, not the one that you're thinking of, my other friend, Ben, he's got heaps of original Star Wars figures. It's not as shiny as that.
Yeah,
it still does look cool.
Yeah.
And we got, last but
not least, I
think it is. We're already at the end, is the Stormtrooper. Now, the helmet.
I hate the helmet.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of like they did the helmet and they realized it was a little bit too big for the body.
Yeah.
And just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Maybe they did this one first.
And even the look, something about it. It doesn't look as menacing as and as cool as they do in the movie.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to ask a question at the end here. What was your big question?
Well, if you were part of the decision-making process for the first 12 Star Wars figures that were released, what would you have added or taken away? Or like, I think we both can safely say the death. What was it?
The Death Squad or the Star Destroyer Commander.
Yes.
I'd do a twist on it. If you left it in the first 12 and rounded the range up to maybe 15, I would have, and I think you're going to say something similar, I would have taken the body and made it Tarkin, just give it a new head.
Absolutely.
Like, and then give it another new head and make it a Star Destroyer Commander, actually, give him the right hat.
I think Tarkin's kind of like the big character from the movie who's missing. The other one, I think, just to kind of, like we both said, the Tusken Raider, the mold was really nice of that. Yeah. Chewbacca as well. Would have been nice to have something like maybe Greedo or, another alien creature. Probably Greedo does make the most sense going with Han Solo in that iconic scene.
From that point of view as well, from just remolding a figure to get another figure out of it, because G.I. Joe did that so well in 82. Most of their first range was just the same character with a different head. Would be a Stormtrooper. Give him the pauldron on the side and make him a sand trooper, and then you've got an extra figure that kids can collect, and when they're playing together you've got multiple Stormtroopers, but they look different. Yep. I think there were some smart things they could have done, but then remember, this is the first 3 3/4 inch action figure line that really took it by storm. So for the first 12, I think they did an amazing job.
Absolutely right. And that's all come anyway. Like it's the most obscure Star Wars figures ever, but and I'm sure in the future will be something we touch on a Not Ready to Grow Up episode. If you've got a topic or a favorite collectible memory you want to share with us, please comment below. If video games are your thing, definitely check out the Versus Player podcast, where Jono, our other best mate Jason, and I talk all things video games.
Yeah, we do.
We hope you can join us for the next 5 episodes, Jono. We're going specials.
Oh, are we ever?
5 episodes.
I can't wait.
We're going to be looking at New York Toy Fair 2020. We're going to break it down, looking at our favourites, or more like your favourites, Jono.
Christmas for me, it is
what
Christmas.
We find interesting there. But thanks for watching, and until next time, stay young at heart.